Our knees, they take care of us. They get us from point A to point B, and they get us up and down from the tree.
Superhero landing. She's gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it. Superhero landing. Yeah, that's really hard on your knee.
So we in turn need to take care of them. And today, I'm going to talk to you about the best knee and leg exercise that you're most likely not doing and have never even heard of. And it's called the hunter squat. Now, the hunter squat gets its name for being an ideal, low and stealthy position for a hunter to shoot from. But you can also call it the tie your shoelaces squat, or the checking your tire pressure squat, or the scrub the toilet squat, or the get something you need out of a low cabinet squat.
But with the coolest name and the fewest syllables, we know which one we prefer.
In the hunter squat, we assume the split stance and come all the way down and sit on our foot, taking our knee to full flexion while under load. Now, there are several exercises that also do this, but they do it symmetrically, as in both knees doing the same thing. This exercise allows us to train each knee asymmetrically to really feel and train the differences in our legs. But unlike the lunge or split squat, it allows us to go into full flexion, which is where our knees tend to be least trained and most vulnerable to injury. So the benefit to this exercise is it's going to shore up the biggest weakness that we have in our legs. The hunter squat can be thought of as a short lunge. So instead of your foot being back here, you just bring it up here with about a half a foot length distance between the feet. This creates the ideal alignment for the exercise. And you're going to come down and bring this back knee into full flexion, sitting on top of your foot and ankle with your knee almost touching the ground and in alignment with the toes of the front foot, and the spine should be nice and upright. Then you're going to drive off both feet, straighten the knees, squeeze the butt, keeping your center of balance over the front foot here, and then coming down, using both feet to decelerate yourself down, and driving back up and centering your weight over the front foot. Then you can also alternate by switching feet. What you might find is the two sides feel very different from each other, especially when it comes to your stability here. You also may find some difficulty in maintaining an upright torso during this exercise and find yourself inclined to lean forward if your toes and even maybe your knee aren't used to this kind of load. And that's okay to have a compensation like that while you're learning the exercise, but your goal is to work your way up to a more upright position. Also, if it's feeling sketchy, you might want to try a little support for doing the exercise by holding on to something sturdy and unloading yourself a little bit. You can even have something on each side that you hold on to. And we will be going over more modifications you can make and even ways that you can use this exercise to rehabilitate your knees if they're not really up to going to full flexion under load. Don't worry, I have you covered. But first, we're going to talk about other progressions that we can do with this exercise. And as you can see, by being in this upright torso position, I have a lot of range of motion for my upper body, which makes the combinations of exercises that you can do with this and the various loads you can place upon it almost limitless. This is by far the most versatile position to train out of. The most basic and easy way to load this exercise is from the front, using a dumbbell or kettlebell or really any of these instruments. It really doesn't matter. So here I have it front loaded, and I'm actually able to balance myself in a more upright position against the weight that I'm holding. Eventually, you can hold it on one side. You can stand up and press. You can even press in the bottom. Hold it in an overhead position. Stand up like that for a more advanced variation. You can load that both ipsilaterally, same side as the front foot, or contralaterally, opposite side of the front foot. You can also do traditional barbell squats. You can also practice various dynamic loading where you're moving into it while receiving a kettlebell clean. Also, ipsilaterally and contralaterally, you can even try receiving a snatch there. And then, once you get that down, you can try direction changes. The hunter squat is also very suitable for more unconventional modalities, like a single club bell. Many different options that you can work with. And you can even have the knees pointing in different directions, like so. You can also take your mace training up a notch by doing exercises like archer, Hanuman press, Viking uppercut. Really, the sky's the limit for the various combinations and movements that you can do with your hunter squat. Working with big balls or sandbags to challenge this movement in a variety of ways. You can even combine them with other exercises done together in a sequence. Now, some of you may have a history of knee injuries or some current ones that are preventing you from going into full flexion of the knee under load. And you're in luck because I have some great modifications that I personally used and used with several clients over the years to get them slowly conditioned for this. Anything that will really create space inside of the knee joint to allow you to get in that position. And sometimes just a towel is enough. And if it's not, you can double the towel up or use something thicker like this. It's also a good idea in general, if you have trouble kneeling like this, to really work on this position. And you can do that the same way as well. Now, this is also going to really press on your calves, so hope you have good tolerance for discomfort. And then you can gradually step down to less and less space, and then eventually your knees will start folding better. It's also good to practice each side individually. And as mentioned before, you can also give yourself support so you're able to unload the position a little bit, and even do that in conjunction with using something to provide a spacer inside the knee joint until you eventually don't need that anymore. And then you can gradually step down the assist until you're doing it with no assist at all. So that about covers the hunter squat. And if you have any questions about it or where to get this cool hat or anything else, leave them in the comments below and I will get back to you. And I'm also available for one-on-one coaching. And I hope you enjoyed this, my first long-form fitness video. There will be more to come, so make sure you like and subscribe. And I hope you incorporate this exercise into your programming so that you can reap the same benefits from it that I have. And I'm not saying it will give you superhero knees. but I'm not saying it won't either.
Fuck it. Superhero landing coming up. Oh, fuck. Oh, that is so not practical.